Race day nutrition. So we're going to be practicing this nutrition throughout your training program, but we want to make sure that we are fueled for the race. The average race takes about an hour and 31 minutes. So that's an adequate amount of time to make sure you have the right amount of carbohydrates, electrolytes, your gels, all of those things. And don't worry, we have a full guide that can help you to make sure that you are right on target with this. But let's start the day before. So the day before, you're going to be doing a carb load, meaning you're going to be eating a specific amount of carbohydrates, anywhere from 300 to 600 grams of carbs. Now, that's a lot of carbs. It's a lot of pasta and bagels and rice cakes. So make sure throughout your training that you test this beforehand, just so you know how your stomach is going to feel on race day. The reason we're doing that is we want our glycogen stores to be high. What that means is your initial energy is high when you start that race. An hour and a half before the race, so right when you're getting to the race or maybe a little bit before, you are going to have a specific amount of carbohydrates. We're going to talk about different ways you can do that. I prefer just some easy oatmeal with a little bit of maple syrup or honey in there to give me a good carbohydrate store. So right when I start that race, my body is ready to go. Right before that race begins, you are going to have a gel. That gel will kick in 30 minutes into the race. Now, depending on your race target, you might bring one gel with you to have you on the course. So if it's going to take you 90 minutes, I want you at that 30-minute mark to have a second gel. So during one of the stations, you can pop that gel and toss it into the garbage can. So what we're focused on here is getting enough carbohydrates in the day before, right before the race, and if you need it during the race. Hydration and electrolytes are going to be extremely important. A lot of these venues are very, very dry. So when you walk into a place like Navy Pier in Chicago, or if you're inside in Las Vegas or wherever you may be, you want to make sure that you have adequate hydration. This starts 2 or 3 days before, making sure you are getting enough water. The morning of that race, I would definitely take an electrolyte supplement to make sure that you have enough sodium in your system to start that race. During the race as well, there is water. That water most likely is going to be right by the in and out of the rock zone. So I highly recommend after your first few events to just swig a little bit of water down. The last thing we want is to feel dehydrated late in the race because you can't make up for that. So take a little bit of water each time you get into the rock zone, just enough to feel like you're wetting your whistle. Take a little bit down, and if you need a little bit more, do that. They also will have electrolyte water infused at those stations. So if you feel like you need a little bit more like that, it's a little bit dry, make sure you take that as well. Carbohydrates, water, electrolytes, get your gels ready. Test this strategy before race day so you know how your body's going to respond and you will be properly fueled to dominate your Hyrox.